These days, you've probably noticed that gluten-free products are everywhere, in grocery stores, restaurants, and cafes. While many people chose to avoid gluten because they feel bloated or tired after eating it, this is called gluten intolerance and is not the same as celiac disease. Celiac disease is a serious autoimmune condition where eating even tiny amounts of gluten causes the immune system to attack the small intestine. So, while gluten free diets are trending, for someone with celiac disease, it's not a preference, it's a strict medical necessity. I'm getting hungry. What shall I eat? Pasta. Oh, yes, farfalle pasta. My favorite ones. Set a timer for 9 minutes.
What do I have on the menu for today? Oh, gluten-free pasta? Yes, as I am gluten intolerant. Wait, Alex, can I use that pot?
Oh yes,
So
of
we don't have
course.
to wash it twice?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Dinner is ready. Ooh.
Yum.
Here you go,
Thank
gluten-free
you so
pasta.
much. Oh wow, that's some good gluten-free pasta right there. Oh, I feel so bloated. Oh, what is this rash on my arm? It's so itchy. I think I might throw up. Thais, are you okay? Oh no! These look like symptoms of potential cross-contamination to gluten since Thais has celiac disease. But why is Thais experiencing these symptoms? So, when people with celiac disease eat gluten or experience cross-contamination such as Thais by using the same pot, their body mounts an immune response that attacks the small intestine. These attacks lead to damage on the villi that are small finger-like projections that line the small intestine and promote nutrient absorption. When these villi get damaged, nutrients cannot be absorbed properly into the body, and this then leads to digestive issues. If it's left untreated, celiac disease can lead to additional serious health problems. In contrast, gluten intolerance is not an autoimmune disease, like I mentioned, and the exact causes are not well understood. Some research shows that people may not be sensitive to gluten, but to a certain carbohydrate that's found in many foods, and their bodies don't really absorb the carbohydrate as they should. It stays in their guts and then ferments, causing the sickness they might feel. Overall, small exposure to gluten might not cause any symptoms. This is why Jerry was not impacted. Thais? Hey! How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
Here's some water because it's really important to hydrate with your conditions. Looking at your blood results, they're fine, so I'm pretty happy with that. But it's really important for you to recover, hence the good night of sleep. Additionally, I have some antihistamines for your skin rash. It might relieve the pain.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Alex, can I use that pot so we don't have to wash it twice?
Yes, of course. Wait! Did you guys wash that pan? I have celiac disease. Let me get you another one.
We wouldn't want any cross-contamination.
Oh yeah, you are so right. We have to be cautious. Celiac disease can develop at any age after people start consuming gluten, and it affects 1% of the population. Additionally, celiac disease is hereditary, meaning that it runs in families. People with a first-degree relative with celiac disease, such as parent, child, or sibling, have a 1 in 10 risk of developing celiac disease. And 38% of the population have a genetic compound but might not develop the disease though. Gluten intolerance, on the other hand, has no genetic compound and affects around 6% of today's population. Gluten intolerance and celiac disease can cause similar digestive symptoms like bloating, gas, abdominal pain, and fatigue. However, celiac disease can also lead to nutrient deficiencies, skin rashes, nerve damage, and even delayed growth in children due to the damage in the small intestine. Gluten intolerance does not cause intestinal damage and is typically limited to discomfort after eating gluten. Only celiac disease can trigger serious long-term complications if it's left untreated, such as developing other autoimmune disorders like type 1 diabetes and multiple sclerosis. Therefore, it's really important being aware of these related conditions to really avoid any decrease in one's health conditions. Additionally, as celiac disease is a genetic disorder, it is important to encourage family members to also get tested. So, how can I get diagnosed with celiac disease, and when should I reach out for screening in case of plausible celiac disease? If you recognize risk factors like family history, iron deficiency anemia, delayed puberty, or other chronic digestive issues such as diarrhea and weight loss, you should really screen for celiac disease. The first step involves speaking to a doctor, followed by a T-TG-IgA blood test, which looks for specific and higher amounts of antibodies while the person remains on a gluten-containing diet. If these results are then positive, an intestinal biopsy is done by a gastroenterologist to confirm damage and inflammation in the cells of the small intestine. Once diagnosed, the only treatment is a strict, lifelong gluten-free diet. Even the small traces from cross-contamination can cause harm. However, if the blood test and biopsy do not reveal any celiac disease, the medical condition is ruled out and the patient experiences non-celiac gluten sensitivity due to intolerance to gluten or a personal preference. Currently, the only treatment for celiac disease is a lifelong adherence to a strict gluten-free diet. And as we've seen with the case of Thais, ingesting the smallest amounts of gluten can trigger small intestine damage. While there's no cure for gluten intolerance, most people feel much better by following a gluten-free diet. It's then important to work closely with a healthcare provider and a dietitian to really make sure your diet is balanced and nutritious. Some people also find that adding probiotics help to ease the symptoms like bloating, gas, or constipation you might feel. So finally, as gluten-free shopping can often be quite demanding and challenging, I have some tips on how to shop gluten-free and make it more manageable. First, and one of the most important parts, is reading the labels carefully in order to look for hidden gluten sources. Then you can search for naturally gluten-free whole foods, including legumes, meat, nuts, seeds, fruits, and veggies. And with the increasing demand of gluten-free products, new logos have come up. Hence, you can look for these certified gluten-free logos that pop up on the screen, or even check the gluten-free section of the supermarkets. Eating out, going to the restaurant with a celiac disease or gluten intolerance might also be a challenge, as some restaurants do not have gluten-free options yet. However, with the app Find Me Gluten Free, you can find restaurants in town that are located and are celiac safe options. Finally, living with celiac disease is better and easier with a great support system. Look out for Facebook groups or other associations in which people share their experiences, advices, and encouragement to really broaden and engage with the gluten-free community.
Hey Alex, can I use that pot so we don't have a bride? We don't.
And many other conditions, including dermatitis herpetiformis, dermatitis herpetiformis,